They're
Oh
choosing not
no.
to go forward with amendments to the cryptocurrency provision in this infrastructure bill at all. Why are they doing that? Because they're not allowing any amendments at this time. They voted, I believe, yesterday to not go forward with any amendments. Doing that because it's very difficult to get a bill through the House and into the Biden administration's hands to be signed, to go into law if you start opening up this can of worms and getting amendments into all of the provisions in this infrastructure bill. There was a photo, I think, from a few weeks ago of the infrastructure bill, and it's just like a stack of papers, probably like 3,000 pages, something crazy like that. And they don't want to open that up and start allowing everyone to have like their say on what amendments should be made with what, even though there is a clear and bipartisan effort to change this cryptocurrency provision to strike some of the language in it and to make it more succinct than it currently is. As it stands right now, it could be interpreted to hurt everyone from miners to validators to exchanges, even node operators in the space, which is not great for the cryptocurrency industry writ large. The Treasury, the IRS, and some other government bodies are saying that's not how this rule will be interpreted. But of course, we know just from history that things can be interpreted once again in the future at the whim of anyone's pleasure. So, pretty frustrating news from Capitol Hill. Uh, I'm oddly not seeing kind of like the rigor and anger that happened when this was in front of the Senate. So, I'm wondering why that is the case. I'm going to throw it to Zach and get your thoughts on why that is. Like, why are people not as upset about this going through the way it is right now in the House that it was when it happened with the Senate?
Yeah, I think maybe people kind of spent their anger capital on that one and maybe weren't too optimistic that the House was going to revisit this. I think there was a little bit of hope that something could change, but I think maybe we're at what stage of grief would this be? Acceptance. That would be my gut on that. But yeah, I mean, again, this has just been an education in how bills become law in DC. And I think it's been really eye-opening for a lot of people in the crypto industry to see that this is the process that could have serious ramifications for the industry going forward. So again, I think there's a little hope in this. Hey, we're not going to enforce this according to the Treasury Department. But again, that does not feel especially sturdy to folks. So I don't know, but yeah, I guess this seems to be closing the chapter on whether or not this will be changed in statute. I'll kick it back to you, Will, in case you have more.
Yeah, just a few more thoughts. Toss it down to Naomi. It's been interesting to see the bipartisan effort across the board to have this change, whether that's in the Senate, in the House, or even just among party lines outside of those two bodies. A lot of people want this language change, and I think it's been at least like comforting to me to know that this cryptocurrency issue has not become divided among political lines at the moment, and hopefully it doesn't ever go along that direction. Cryptocurrency is like a tech innovation. It's kind of follows in line with a lot of other American innovations, and I think that politicians across the space are recognizing that this issue seems just to be a problem with how the governance structure is set up within Congress right now, which leads us to the question, when DAO? When are we going to turn this into a DAO? But Naomi, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think it's a little more malicious than we're actually giving it credit for. If we actually look at the facts of this, the fact that Janet Yellen went out of her way to petition people to vote against the amendment that Wyden, Lummis, Toomey put together, there's something going on there. Like someone specifically going out of their way. I mean, we had the creators of the original crypto language turn around and say, okay, yeah, we support the Wyden, Lummis, Toomey amendment. And then suddenly, Janet Yellen starts petitioning them. They come up with their own amendment, which is absolutely terrible and still expands the definition of broker. And then, suddenly all amendments are cut out, and then suddenly it's cut out in the House. Like there's no way to change this. It's pretty malicious. And Jerry Brito of Coin Center has a pretty good rundown on Twitter where he says, it's a little strange to assure folks, like for the Treasury to assure folks that you will not target brokers because by definition, only brokers can be subjected to reporting obligations. Of course, the Treasury will never target non non-brokers. Whoever's targeted will be have to be interpreted to be a broker. But the bill's whole purpose is to expand the definition of broker. That's the issue. So no, the Treasury isn't going to go after non-brokers. They're expanding the definition of broker so that it could be interpreted to cover non-middlemen who would not qualify as brokers today. For example, the article says that the Treasury official said they did not intend to target certain decentralized exchanges, but if, how can you even target a decentralized exchanges? So it begs the question, what do they even define as a decentralized exchange? And Jerry Brito suggests that, that could possibly refer to coders, people who are developing this software, and that's actually who they're going after. So it's no comfort to me at all that the Treasury has come out with their statement, especially when they've tried so hard to make sure that this language, as it stands, stays exactly how it is in the crypto provision of this infrastructure bill. So and there's a lot of other stuff that's not just broker stuff. So the bill also creates an obligation for all crypto transactions over $10,000 to be reported to the IRS, along with personal information of the counterparty. I don't even know how that's possible for so many crypto transactions. So I think that is big news, and anyone who's saying that the crypto space is overreacting to this, I think is missing the point, because this is really going to have hugely detrimental effects.